Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hexagon Challenge here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well today. The CONCACAF Champions League Final, it's against the Vancouver Whitecaps. If we win, we complete this Hexagon Challenge. So if you're looking forward to that, remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video. And if you haven't done so already, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on. As well, if you missed yesterday's episode, the semi-final, of course, I will leave a link to it in the top right corner. In the end, we got the job done fairly convincingly over the Chicago Fire and the Vancouver Whitecaps, upsetting the defending MLS champions, the Houston Dynamo, 2-1 away from home to make their way through to this final where the first leg will be played at our home ground. It is another one of these finals that is played over two legs, much like it was in Asia. But since yesterday's episode, we have had a few changes to our first 11 due to injuries, and we've just tested those out in a couple of Liga MX games leading into this. First off, a pretty big game taking on Club America at home, but we were able to get a really good result here, 4-0 against a team who are fighting for one of those automatic first round buys in the playoffs. We got off to a great start in this game. Club America in the light blue, which was an interesting outfit for them. Barber putting a ball in. Iguez gets tackled, the ball falls to Carbajal, he tucks it away. So a bit of a lucky goal there after 5 minutes, but we were 1-0 up, and about 5 minutes before halftime, Carbajal made it to Barber whipping one in, and Carbajal putting the ball into a fairly similar position with a little bit of help from the woodwork to make it 2-0. And then right before halftime, there was an own goal. Almaraz putting one in the mixer. Solly was about to get his foot to that. In the end, it must have taken a deflection off the Club America defender. That made it 3-0. And then early on in the second half, Carbajal stepping up with a penalty to complete his hat-trick and make it a 4-0 rout. That's a very good result against a good team like Club America, and it bodes well considering that we did put out our first 11 for this game with Iguez and Solé stepping in for the injured Guti Arias and Puente, and both performed well. So that gives us a good bit of confidence heading into today's final. A really good performance there. Very dominant, matching our XG more or less to expectations, and a very good win. And off the back of that, we put out the rotation team. A couple of days prior to this first leg, we took on Pumas away from home and picked up another good 3-1 win. It took us until the 15-minute mark to get going in this game. We're in the dark blue and black uniform for this. Villalba slotted through after 15 minutes by our new striker Torres. I say new, coming in from the B team, and that made it 1-0. And then at the half-hour mark, Torres got on the score sheet himself. Villalba returning the favour with a nice ball there, hitting that into the back of the net, the bottom left corner at the half-hour mark. Then with 20 minutes to go, Pumas got one back. Good move there to slot Ramirez, and he buried that in the top right corner. But then a few minutes later, a wonderful goal. This from Torres, just runs through the defence, gets that to Villalba. Nice 1-2, and slots that away nicely to get a double. A very good game there for Luis Torres, which is nice to see. He is quite a promising striker at the club. Looks like he's able to step up to the first team level after he wasn't quite able to do that when we were here last year. But a really good performance from him, an assist and 2 goals, and the opposite way round for Villalba, those two standing out to give us a good 3-1 result. Stat-wise, not as dominant, but we got the result, and that's what matters. So in terms of Liga MX, we are top of it, albeit joint on points with Santos Laguna, who we play in between these two Champions League final legs today. If we're able to beat those guys, we will guarantee top spot heading into the playoffs, as we do have a game on hand on them. But either way, we are guaranteed to be in that top 4 and skip the preliminary round, which is good stuff indeed. But of course, our main focus today is the Vancouver Whitecaps. We bet them earlier in the season at BC Place in the Leagues Cup to make our way through to that final. They're predicted to finish 24th in the MLS. So the teams who are in this CONCACAF Champions League from the MLS, who we've faced anyway, quite a way down towards the bottom of the media predictions for that tournament, which is a little bit surprising. They are currently struggling in their conference as well, down in 12th in the Western Conference. So a bit different from what they were doing last season for them, earlier in the season for us when they were quite high up in that Western Conference, struggling a bit more this season. We know we can beat these guys, so hopefully we can get a good result and finish this Hexagon Challenge with a CONCACAF Champions League final win. But we've got the same injuries as we discussed before. We're missing Puente and Guti areas. So Egues will be on the right wing and Solly up top with Torres and Villalba to cover those two on the bench. Otherwise, we are at full strength, but we'll come back shortly with the team sheets and get straight into things from the Estadio BBVA, our home ground, for this first leg of the CONCACAF Champions League Final against the Vancouver Whitecaps. And here are the team sheets for this first leg. We ran you guys through our one before, but there it is in full detail, as strong as we can be with those injuries in mind. But pretty happy with that squad. Hopefully they can get the job done. Jimenez, of course, a former Vancouver player. He missed a penalty in the Leagues Cup game earlier in the season. Hopefully he doesn't perform like that today. And Vancouver, from what I can tell, looking very similar to how they were when we took them on and beat them in the Leagues Cup earlier in the seasons. You'd expect us to get a win out of this game, especially at home. Hopefully we can keep them quiet, no away goals, and get a few on the board ourselves, and that would be a very nice place to be in heading into the second leg away from home. And no TV coverage for the CONCACAF Champions League Final, which is a little bit surprising. We are in the home uniform, kicking off playing right to left, the blue with the white stripes and white shorts, and the Vancouver Whitecaps in the dark blue tops with the light blue shorts. And hopefully we can get off to a good start in this home league. 9 minutes gone, Vancouver with a throw, but deep in their own half, but they do start with the ball in this first main highlight of the Champions League Final. A poor ball there though. Renan ties it up. Carvajal possibly should have just shot that. I think he was trying to set Solly up there. I think he would have been better off trying to crack that into the top right corner. It was actually a decent chance for us that if he took the shot on, but he opted not to. Vancouver clear it, but we're back on the attack through Egues. Hell of a crack, and it's just wide. That would have been a heck of a goal, but it remains 0-0 at the 10-minute mark. But we've had the first few shots that we've seen of this Champions League Final first leg, and we're back in possession after the goal kick from the Vancouver Whitecaps. But Carvajal loses possession there, and it's Ventolini down the left-hand side, but they do give the ball away yet again with a long ball over the top, and we play out through the back. Renan picks out Carvajal coming into this. It's some good form. Hell of a crack. That's a decent save there from the Vancouver goalkeeper. Carvajal trying to find that bottom right corner, and it does remain 0-0 for now, but we've started this game off pretty well, and there's an offside there from Almaraz, and after 10 minutes, still 0-0. 17 minutes gone here. We do have a corner, 7 shots to 0 at the moment, and Paulo gets the header in the back of the net from the corner, and that's exactly what we were after. We've been pretty dominant in these opening 18 minutes, and we have some reward for it. 1-0 up. It's a simple set-piece corner that we've set up at the near post. Paulo gets his head to it. It's a well-angled one to get past the goalkeeper into the left-hand side of goal. And with 20 minutes gone, we're 1-0 up in the first leg of this Champions League Final. 36 minutes gone in this fight, and Vancouver still yet to fire a shot, but they do have this highlight. De Los Santos gets past his man out the box. Paulo with a missed header, and with their first shot of the entire game, they make it 1-1. And that really hurts. We've been so dominant. Possibly should have had this game at 2-0, but they strike back and they get what could be a crucial away goal. So at the moment, advantage Vancouver. Paulo, after getting our first goal, that's a bit of a lapse from him. Petrovic puts that away pretty simply into the bottom right corner, and it's 1-1, 5 minutes shy of half time, as there is now a highlight here in the 39th minute. We have a throw-in and look to get back on top. Carvajal for ball. Good ball for Solly, but his header straight at Del Castillo in goal for Vancouver. And heading into half-time, it might be 1-1. And that is half-time in the first leg of this CONCACAF Champions League Final. And we can feel a bit hard done by there. We've looked very good. 15 shots, 6 on target. Only 1 goal, while Vancouver were very clinical with their only shot. It did come from a missed header by Paulo, who was also our goal scorer, but they got it in the back of the net, and somehow this game is 1-1, and you'd have to say advantage Vancouver at this stage. But the way we're playing, if we can keep this up in the second half, we should be able to get another goal in the back of the net, and hopefully 2 more, because 2-1 would be okay. 3-1 would put us in quite a good position, I feel, going into that second leg. But quite happy with the way that we're playing. Just need to see a bit more reward on the scoreboard for it. We're looking quite dangerous with those balls coming in from the left-hand side. So hopefully we can keep a bit more of that going on in the second half and get a few goals in the back of the net to make these stats mean something on the scoreboard. But at the moment, as I said, it's probably advantage Vancouver going into the second half. 49 minutes gone here. We have a throw-in in a very similar position to what Vancouver got their goal from in that first half. And hopefully we can get a goal as well to make this 2-1 and make it a bit more of a fair scoreline based on the stats that have been in this game so far. Vancouver have had the only shot of the second half to date. It was on target, but the highlight was not shown as we approached the 50-minute mark. And Barco back to Montoya. We just knocked the ball about patiently. Good ball over the top there for Barber, looking to exploit them down this left-hand side. Again, he'll find Barco just outside the box. Back out to Barber. He's going to put a ball across. Eguez with the header. Milton Eguez, he's come into the first team for that Gutierrez injury and gets a good header into the top right corner. And that is an assist to Barber. He's looked very dangerous down that left-hand side today. And he gets an assist. He's been sagged off a few times. This time he picks out Eguez. He's a short lad, so not too sure how he's got his head to that. But he has either way. And we are now 2-1 up after 50 minutes of this first leg. 54 minutes gone, and we're looking for a quick fire second half double from the corner, and it has hit the post. I'm not too sure who got their head to it, but that was very close to making it 3-1. Petrovic tries to get going down this right-hand side, but a good slide tackle. Very close for us there. It did come off the woodwork, but at 60 minutes gone, it's 2-1 to Monterrey. 70 minutes gone here, and we do another corner. We might make a few substitutions after this one is headed over the bar yet again, but we will make some substitutions off the back of that. Jimenez and Carvajal having okay games, but on yellow hearts, we'll give them a rest. Hernandez to come on for Jimenez. He's been playing quite well anyway, Hernandez, throughout the season. And Wellerson to come on for Carvajal. Not quite at the level he was in the past few games, but we'll just save him for that second leg. But hopefully with those fresh legs, we can get one more goal in the second half and make this feel a little bit more comfortable heading into the away leg, because with 20 minutes to go, it's still pretty much in the balance. Monterrey 2-1 up. 80 minutes gone here. We have a free kick. It's played over the top. Solly's in there. He puts it in the back of the net, but is offside. He looked a little bit too open to be true there, and it has been ruled out. Of course, no VAR, so we can't check this through that, but he is offside by a good stride and a half, maybe even two. Good finish, but it still remains 2-1. 82 minutes gone here. Vancouver with a throw inside their own half. Still haven't had many shots on target in this game, so if they got this back to 2-2, it would put us in a very difficult position with those two away goals and all square after our home league. It would be a bit of a difficult spot, but we get the ball down to Solly and hopefully get something going here on the counter. Lovely ball there from Wellerson for Eguez, who's on a red heart. The shot is saved. We might have to take him off the back of this corner and bring Villalba on for him, but we'll see what happens from this corner. Renan to put it in. We've already scored from one of these today. Paulo gets his head to it just over the bar. We will make that substitution. We'll take Eguez off for Villalba on a red heart. He's been quite good today, so we'll make sure he's available for that second leg as well. But those are our free subs, and hopefully with those fresh legs mostly up front, we can get that third goal that we're after, and stats-wise we probably deserve 2-1 with only 6 minutes to go in this first leg. 92 minutes gone. We have a free kick as we look to get a late goal and make it 3-1, but unfortunately straight at Del Castillo. We still do have 2 minutes left off referees at a time here, so we do get the ball back, which is nice. A bit of a headed war there, and we do get the ball back there from Hernandez over to Wellerson. Fresh legs. Can he put this away from a tight angle? Yes, he can. That's a massive goal. Gives us a 2-goal cushion heading into the away leg, and that is a much better scoreline for us now. 3-1 up with only 2 minutes left to go of added time, and that's, as I said, a much better scoreline than the 2-1 it was prior. Some good fresh legs. Hernandez with the intercept, setting up Wellerson and just getting that inside the far post, and we make it 3-1 with 2 minutes left. We will pull our wingers back here just to make sure that they don't get a second goal. As I pause the game, thought I already did that, but now not too sure if these changes are going to have much impact as we're already past the 95-minute mark. But we'll just slow things down, be more disciplined, see if they take effect. But we are on the ball after referee's time. We get it out to Wellerson, who's got that potentially crucial third goal for us in this first leg. Just inside the box, it's a slide tackle. The ball does go out. We will have a throw-in, and this will get shown. Wellerson to put this into the mixer, back out to Hernandez. Wellerson just holding the ball up. It's blocked. It goes into touch for another throw-in, and that is that. In the end, I think that's a pretty good result for us. The second half, a lot better than the first. A little bit frustrating that Vancouver got that goal in the first half, but we bounced back well, and that's a good scoreline to be taking into the second leg at their stadium, a stadium that we've already won at this season, which is nice as well. But on the whole, a good performance just that away goal that could be important, but hopefully we can get one of those in the away leg anyway. And what we'll do is we'll come back in between games, show you that top of the table Liga MX clash, and we'll see if that has much impact on the rest of the save, because after that we'll come back for the second leg of this CONCACAF Champions League final, where we're 3-1 up after the home leg against the Vancouver Whitecaps. So we're back and we're going to run you guys through this top of the table clash in Liga MX. If we won this, of course, we would qualify for the playoffs top. It was against second place Santos Laguna with our rotation team, so a tough test for them, but we performed exceptionally well in this game. Inside the first minute, a corner, Wallace on sprinting onto that and putting that in the left-hand corner to make it 1-0. Then at the 31-minute mark, we get the ball over, trying to pick out Torres, that is. We pick him out the second time around and he buries that in a nice little patch of form as the striker has made his way back into the first team. Then just before half time, we launch one for Torres again and he slots it away into the same place, and we are 3-0 up at half time. And then right in the dying embers of this game, similar timing to where Wellison scored before, Hernandez with a long shot, a pretty average effort and goal there from Espinoza. Hernandez will claim that though, and he made it 4-0, and that secures our place top of Liga MX with one game left to go, albeit we may not need to play it if we do the job in the second leg of the Champions League final here in CONCACAF. But that was a really good performance from our rotation team. Torres on absolute fire since he's come into this team. So if Solly doesn't perform, I am definitely going to be bringing Torres on. It was something I wouldn't have been too confident about heading into that first leg, but he's now got doubles in his last two games and a couple of assists as well. So he is playing out of his skin, as Torres might be the form player at the entire club. So that's nice to be able to have in our squad. But that means we have guaranteed top spot in the second phase of Liga MX going to the playoffs, no matter what happens in our final league game, albeit that may not matter, because if we get the job done today, it will be challenge completed. So we'll come back shortly. It will be the exact same team sheet as it was in the first league, and I imagine it would be the same for Vancouver as well. 3-1 up after the home league. Hopefully we can do a decent job away from home and secure our sixth and final piece of the Hexagon Challenge in this CONCACAF Champions League. And here are the team sheets. As I said, our team exactly the same as it was for the first league. It looks like they've made a few personnel changes here. Have Vancouver with the likes of Wellington relegated to the bench, but for the most part, it's most of the same starting 11. So hopefully we can get a similar result here away from home. And no TV coverage again, which is a little bit surprising. Vancouver are in the white uniforms with a bit of a blue and red stripe by the look of it, and blue shorts in their home league. We are in the dark blue with the black stripes, and Vancouver are kicking off, playing right to left, needing to make up 2 goals in their home league of this CONCACAF Champions League final. 15 minutes gone and we have a corner. A pretty quiet opening quarter of an hour so far, but Paulo gets his head to that. That would have been a nice time to get the away goal, but it still remains 0-0 as we approach the 20-minute mark of the second leg. 22 minutes gone here and we have a free kick. Renan to whip this in towards the far post. Montoya trying to get his head to that, but it is cleared away by the Vancouver defence. But Jimenez, the former Vancouver player, is able to tidy things up. Picks out Renan. Nice control from him off his chest there. Barco, Carbajal, Solly, Carbajal, Jimenez. Nice ball there for Solly. Here's a shot, but it's a little bit weak, and Del Castillo makes a good save. But we're starting to get on top of these guys now after 23 minutes and still with a 2-goal advantage. If we can get the away goal back, we'll be in a very strong position for this tie. Barber, and still in a bit of space down the left. They haven't closed him down much after that first leg, which is a bit surprising. Jimenez tries to put a ball in. It's blocked. He puts another one. Carbajal with a header and forces a tap over the bar there from Del Castillo. A good bit of play from us. The shot didn't look overly threatening, but they've decided to pat it out for a corner anyway. Paulo gets on the end of that. Straight at Del Castillo though. And after 25 minutes, still 0-0. 42 minutes gone here. Right before half time, we have a corner. Renan puts it in. It's flicked to the back post. It's a mess, but Milton Iguez comes up big. Again, he scored some big goals since coming into the squad halfway through this season. And we get our away goal back and we are 3 goals up. And surely now we can't bottle this. Solly with the flick on. Jimenez hits the post. It somehow falls to Iguez. He puts it in the bottom left corner. And we've got our away goal back 4-1 on aggregate as we come into halftime in the second leg. And indeed, that is the case. A pretty quiet half, it has to be said, but we'll take that. We are now in a very good position to be taking out the sixth Champions League that we need. A solid half. We've got slightly the better of it stat-wise, just that late goal with a bit of a cluster from that late corner, but we got the job done through Egues, and we're looking pretty good. We'll just tell the boys to keep on going, keep praising them, because with a 4-1 lead, we don't really have much choice if we don't want to damage the morale too much with how things work. If you encourage the guys, once they've already got a first league lead, their heads will drop, which is a little bit weird. They don't really tell the difference between first league game and second league game. They think it's the same game, but fairly happy with how things are going. I suppose we might tell them just to not get complacent, but 45 minutes of football left to go. We have a 3-goal lead, and one of those goals is an away goal, so one more and surely we are absolutely home. But we've still got a very good advantage going into the second half of this CONCACAF Champions League Final, the second leg of it. 56 minutes gone here, and we do have a throw-in just inside our own half, but we do get it eventually, albeit Egues pumps that straight at Del Castillo, and Vancouver might have a chance to make this 2-4 on aggregate, but we're still in a very good position. Is now Carvajal making his way forward, loses possession there through a slide tackle. It was Kartsev getting the ball back for Vancouver there, and now De Los Santos, a scrappy pass, and his former teammate Jimenez tidies things up. Carvajal, good ball to try and pick out Egues. He will. It's a tight angle, but he forces a good save out of Del Castillo there, and we have another corner. We've been quite dangerous from these across both legs so far, and if we can get one here with a half hour to go, it would surely wrap things up. It's a bit messy. Montoya off the rebound over the bar, but Egues was offside anyway, and it still remains 1-0 at the hour mark. 65 minutes gone here. We try and pump a ball towards Egues' wing inside the box, but it's cut out, and Watts tries to make his way down there, but we cut that out as well, and now Solly just making his way forward. Egues will pick out Carvajal, very tight angle, forces a save, and it nearly falls to Solly. They hoof it out for a throw-in, and it remains 4-1 on aggregate after 66 minutes. And shortly off the back of that, we do have a throw-in, Almaraz to Egues. That's a risky slide tackle there from Biggs. The referee's going over, and it's a red card for Chris Biggs. That is huge. And now we have another throw-in. We've got a man advantage in a 3-goal lead. Carvajal trying to get his head to that for us, but we surely now should be seeing this out with the man advantage. Carvajal to Solly. What will he do? Carvajal in a bit of space. If he saved there from Del Castillo, nearly let that go straight through him, but it will be cleared out from one of the defenders for a corner. But with 20 minutes to go, in a very good position, we can't get our head to that corner. So with 20 minutes to go, it will remain 1-0, it looks like, after this highlight. But that red card, the main thing coming out of that quick flurry of highlights, we're in a really good space now with 28 minutes to go. And we are going to make a change here. Solly not having the best game, so we'll try Torres, a man in form for us, off the bench, see if he can do anything for us up front to try and absolutely seal this for us. But looking very good with 20 minutes to go. A man up and 4-1 up on aggregate. 73 minutes gone. We have yet another corner here. Renan to put this in. He's trying to find Paolo. It's cleared away out to Montoya. Almaraz. Barco finds Renan back on the right-hand side, and we're just knocking it about nicely outside the box. It's a push in the box. It's a penalty, and this would seal it. Egues going down, of course, as we've said a few times, no VAR, so that penalty is going to stay a penalty. Barco with the pen. He gets it past the goalkeeper. It's 5-1 with a quarter of an hour to go, and I think we're going to complete the Hexagon Challenge today. After 15 years, it's going to be done. Barco with a penalty. It looked reasonably fair. It looked like a fairly solid push inside the box. Barco tucks that away nicely in the bottom left corner, and it's 5-1 with 15 minutes to go. 76 minutes gone here. We have a throw-in looking to keep piling the misery on a 10-man Vancouver, and Paolo will get that out to Egues, who earned us that penalty. He's been involved in both goals today, and most of the goals across this tie, so he's been very good for us. Here's the young Bolivian right winger, but Vancouver in possession. We nearly cut that out there through Almaraz, that probably was, but we get the ball back eventually through Barco and look to mount another challenge here. Almaraz back to Barco, and we just look to knock things about. In fact, it was Paolo. Barco must have got forward a little bit more than I suspected there, and we play it back to Schneller, and with 13 minutes to go, it's just about not losing our heads here. just seeing things out nicely. Carvajal makes his way forward. Tight angle, gets a shot off. Another iffy save there from Del Castillo for a shot that was more or less straight at him, but it does remain 2-0 on the day, 5-1 on aggregate. We have another corner. This one is missed by everyone. Torres, of course, not quite as tall as the likes of Solly, but Almaraz will tidy things up for us. Both of our wing-backs on yellow hearts and a bit so-so ratings, so we might make a change soon. That ball falls to Carvajal. That is I was going to say good save there from Del Castillo, but it just went over the bar. But we will make our last two substitutions here, both the wing-backs to come on now. Starting wing-backs from the start of the season, of course, will bring Clayton on for Almaraz, who's improved greatly throughout this season, and Ayala on for Barber. That's our last substitution, potentially, of this save with 12 minutes to go. We're 4 goals up, away goals in our favour. It's looking very good for us to complete this Hexagon challenge. 84 minutes gone. Renan with a free kick. He nearly picks out the top left corner. That would have been a heck of a way to go out in this save, but a good save there from Del Castillo. He'll try get an assist from the corner, but doesn't find anyone. Montoya will get possession back for us here, and we'll see if anything else happens. It doesn't. We nearly go 3-0 up, but still 2-0, but 5-1 on aggregate as we now have a throw-in with 2 minutes left to go. We nearly try and pick someone out. It goes back out to Clayton, fresh off the bench. Iguez Jimenez in space. He just misses. Nearly scores against his former team, and it's still 5-1. 92 minutes gone. We are 1 minute away from completing the Hexagon Challenge. Vancouver in possession, looking to get a goal back for pride here, but Jimenez just bullies Arnold off the ball. We clear it deep. Huerta is on the ball. They're going to try and build another attack here, but they've only got 30 seconds. We can get the balloons out. We can get the beers out. We are going to be completing this Hexagon Challenge today. Ventolini puts a ball in. Schneller claims it. We've got 10 seconds left to go. We've got some tired bodies out there, but they've done the job for us superbly since we've come to Monterrey, these boys. Clayton down the right. We're over referee's time, and there it is. The Hexagon Challenge has been completed after 15 years, potentially a few more seasons than that, just with the way that the football calendar worked, with some seasons lapping across years and some of them being across single calendar years. So it might have ended up being a few more seasons than that. But after a fair while, I started this save, of course, before I started the YouTube channel. So it was back in about October, November last year. But in mid-August, we have completed the Hexagon Challenge, and we lift the CONCACAF Champions League to complete it with Monterrey, our 5th trophy of the season here. We do have the chance to make it 6, but we won't pursue that because we don't need to. We'll move on to a different save, I think, because we've pretty much seen all there is to see. We've already won that league at MX, and that's a very solid win for us away from home. 2-0, our second win of the season at the BC Place. You can see XG-wise, probably should have made it 3 on the day, but overall, that's a pretty solid win. The only iffy moment coming in the first half of the first leg when it was 1-1 at that point at half-time, but it was a pretty solid win. Of course, the red card to Biggs in the 68th minute certainly helped, but it's all over. We've completed the Hexagon Challenge. We'll come back, wrap things up, and give you guys a little bit of a hint as to what might be coming up next. So we're back in the inbox. We've completed a quintuple. I think that's the first time we've done that in the save, so that's a cool thing to go out on. We get 424k for winning the Champions League Final Euro-wise, which seems a little bit cheap, but we don't have to worry about that too much with this being completed. Now everyone's happy with us. Good times. The overachievers of the competition, Vancouver, so apparently they were just happy to be there. I suspected that might have been the case. If I'm being honest, I was expecting to play the Houston Dynamo in that final, but it probably made our task a little bit easier, and we got the job done fairly comfortably in the end, it has to be said. And that completes the Hexagon Challenge. It's been a long one, but we can move on to something a little bit different now after we round up this episode. So we'll go show our profile before we finish this. Of course, we've got a game against Tijuana coming up. That isn't a bad place to be going after winning a Champions League, I'd suspect, for a bit of a party. I thought that Cancun might have been ideal for that earlier in the season, but to be fair, for a second option of where you could be going, Tijuana probably not the worst one for a bit of a party for the Monterrey boys. But we'll show our profile. We are on some pretty good reputation and all that sort of nice green stat here for the characteristics. Our attributes are looking very good. We've got some nice greens in the tactical, mental, working with youngsters just because we've signed so many of them, motivating man management, level of discipline, all looking very good managerially. We've got the 3.75 star rating, which we were pretty close to. It's just below what we were when we finished at PSG and won the UEFA Champions League, of course. And we go through the career milestones, just picking up the CONCACAF Champions League at Monterrey. We entered the Worldwide Hall of Fame not too long before we finished this save. We go back, of course, Beijing Guoan. We did the one and done there, completing the Asian part of the challenge. SuperSport United, another one and done, where we won the African Champions League. It was a one and done at PSG to pick up the UEFA, but before that we had to do a bit of work to get our profile up at Monaco. We had actually pretty good time at Monaco, winning 2 Coupe de France, 2 Trophée des Champions, but never quite kicking on in the continental competitions, which is why when the PSG job did come up for the first time in the save once Thomas Tuchel left for Barcelona, it was too good to turn down and proved a very good move. Before Monaco, probably my favourite club of the save, it has to be said, where we won a Champions League at Atletico Nacional. That was a big upset, winning the Copa Libertadores from that club. Before that, we had a season and a little bit getting Cúcuta Deportivo back to the top division in Colombia. And before that, of course, we were in my home region of Oceania. Hamilton Wanderers, a one and done there, where we picked up the double with the New Zealand Premiership, a competition which is no more, and the OFC Champions League. And before that, we saw a little bit of this club on camera, not as much as I would have liked. It was actually a really fun time at Caversham. 3 years, winning 3 ODT Football South Premier Leagues and also 1 Chatham Cup, which was pretty big, beating the Premiership teams from a non-league outfit in the very deep south of Dunedin. But that wraps up our career and what we're going to do. I'll leave this save file down in the comments below if you guys want to keep playing with it, because this Monterrey team does have some good young talent, the likes of Almaraz, Iguez, and also that most recent youth intake we got. There's some real good gems there for the future. So at this point, I'll leave things down below for the save file that will be available at the end of the save. But what I'm going to do is hit the retire button immediately and we'll see what happens off the back of that. So we have retired. There's the stats for this save. You can look at those in more detail if you want and see how much I've been playing this save. It's taken a fair while, it's fair to say, but we'll have a look at the Hall of Fame. Of course, we did make the Worldwide Hall of Fame late in this save. We'll have a look if there's any interesting names on here. Alex Ferguson up top, followed by Hansi Flick, Pep, Thomas Tuchel, who did most of his damage in this save at PSG, Leo Conde, who is a manager out of Brazil. Never heard of him, to be honest, but maybe that's one to be keeping an eye out on in the future. Ancelotti, Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Okay, he must have won a fair bit at Manchester United. Indeed, he's won 3 Champions League titles in this save, Europa League, 5 Premier Leagues. It's all looking a bit interesting, that. Zinedine Zidane, Jurgen Klopp, Willie Mulley from Celtic, an old manager, of course. Frank Lampard ahead of us in 12th, ahead of Bob Paisley. That's definitely not going to happen in real life. Bob Paisley, Giovanni Trapattoni, and then there we are in 15th place, ahead of Bill Schluff, Jorge Jesus, Mircea Lucescu, Rogelio Seni, and Marcelo Gallardo. So that's how the Worldwide Hall of Fame looks. We got our way up to 15th. We did do it pretty quickly. I thought this might take a little bit longer than it did, to be honest, but still done a decent job there. If we got a few more domestic titles, we might have ended up a little bit further up that Worldwide Hall of Fame. And we'll look at the New Zealand Hall of Fame just for lols, because we are absolutely night and day the best manager in New Zealand's history on this save. You can see our score up there, 2,534. And behind us, the manager we took over from at Hamilton Wanderers, Carl Herbert, on 121. So we absolutely wiped the floor with previous New Zealand managers, as you'd expect. But we've done a really good job to get 15th in the overall Hall of Fame worldwide wise. But that will do it for this Hexagon challenge. If you've watched any of the episodes, then thank you very much. It's been a really cool save to do, and we'll come back hopefully soonish. I say that a bit hesitantly because at the moment here in New Zealand we are in lockdown, so I don't quite have the ability to film as often as I did when it wasn't lockdown. So I'll try and get back on top of things as soon as I can, but it does depend on when that lockdown will be ending. Hopefully it's not as bad here in the South Island as it looks like it is up in the North Island and in Auckland in particular, but we will be back with a World Super League save, something a little bit different, seeing as we've been pretty much everywhere in the world throughout this save. I thought we'll do something a little bit different to finish off this FM cycle before cracking into a Build a Nation to start off FM 22, a couple of single club saves after one where we went all over the place. It is fair to say, but hopefully in a couple of days, maybe at the start of next week, we'll be back with a World Super League save, and it is with a team who I've got a jersey of, so that's a little bit of a hint if you've been keeping an eye on my jersey collection since we introduced the face cam around about the 100 episode mark. But as I said, if you've watched any of the episodes here of this Hexagon challenge, then thank you very much, and hopefully you'll stick around for our next series with that World Super League database. And until that series starts, as I said, thanks to everyone who's watched one of these episodes. And until the next time I see you, keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.